Dear friend, welcome to the lecture series in electromagnetic fields and waves. In today's video lecture, we are going to derive the expression of force between two differential current elements. Coming to the derivation part, let us consider two differential current elements I1 dl1 bar and I2 dl2 bar. Now the distance vector between these two current elements is r bar, and when we calculate the force on the current element I1 dl1 bar due to the field produced by I2 dl2 bar, then the force that we are considering is from the current element 2 to the current element 1. So in that case, the distance vector is written as r bar 2 1, and the current element 1 is carrying the current I1 and the current element 2 is carrying the current I2. Each current element will produce the magnetic field of flux density dB1 bar, and here the current element produces the magnetic field of flux density dB2 bar. So what we are going to do here is, due to the field produced by the current element I2 dl2 bar, we are going to find out what is the force that is exerted on the current element I1 dl1 bar. So let us start the derivation part. Consider the two differential current elements I1 dl1 bar and I2 dl2 bar. Each produces a magnetic field that puts a force on the other, as we discussed here. Now let us calculate the force D of df1 bar on I1 dl1 bar due to I2 dl2 bar. That means this I2 dl2 bar will produce the magnetic field of flux density dB2 bar. So due to this field, what could be the force that is exerted on the current element I1 dl1 bar? Now the force on I1 dl1 bar can be written as df1 bar equals to I dl1 bar cross B2 bar. So this expression that we can take from the expression of force on a differential current element. Now differentiating this expression, we get d of df1 bar equals to I dl1 bar cross dB2 bar. In this expression, we are going to find out the expression for dB2 bar, and after getting the expression and when we substitute in this expression, we can calculate the force exerted on the current element I1 dl1 bar. Now let us consider this particular expression as equation 1, and we are going to find out the expression for dB2 bar. As we know that from the Biot-Savart's law, we can write the magnetic flux density produced at a certain point P, where it is having the distance r between the current element and the point of interest, where we are going to calculate the magnetic field of flux density B bar, due to the current element I dl bar is given by dB bar equals to mu naught I dl bar cross A bar r over 4 pi r square. By using the above expression, we can write for differential magnetic field of flux density dB2 bar produced by differential current element I2 dl2 bar as dB2 bar equals to mu naught I2 dl2 bar cross A bar r21 over 4 pi r21 square. So here the force that we are going to calculate is from current element 2 to current element 1, so that the distance vector that we can write is r bar 21, and the unit vector that we will write is A bar r21. Now from equation 1, that is d of df1 bar equals to I dl1 bar cross dB2 bar. Now substituting what is dB2 bar that we obtained in the above step, now we are substituting that in the equation 1, so that we get d of df1 bar equals to I dl1 bar cross mu naught I2 dl2 bar cross A bar R21 over 4 pi R21 square. Rearranging this particular expression, we get d of df1 bar equals to mu naught I1 I2 over 4 pi of dl1 bar cross dl2 bar cross A bar R21 over R21 square. By looking at this particular expression, we can observe that the above equation is analogous to the Coulomb's law in electrostatics. To calculate the total force between the two line currents, we must integrate over the length of each wire. As we know that each wire is having a length L1 and L2 respectively. Each part of the second wire puts a force on each part of the first wire. So, in order to get the total force F1, that is the force exerted on the current element I1 dl1 due to the field produced by the current element I2 dl2, we have to double integrate the above expression so that we can get the total force exerted on the current element I1 dl1. So here we can write F1 bar equals to double integral L1 and L2 d of df1 bar. Now substituting the expression for d of df1 bar as we obtained the in the above step. Now the expression looks like F1 bar equals to integral L1 integral L2 mu naught I1 I2 over 4 pi dL1 bar cross dL2 bar cross A bar R21 over R21 square. Again, rearranging this particular expression, we get F1 bar equals to mu naught I1 I2 over 4 pi integral L1 integral L2 dL1 bar cross dL2 bar cross A bar R21 over R21 square. Now this is the expression that is exerted, the force exerted on the current element I1 dL1 due to the field produced by the I2 dL2. Now, if we connect the both ends of each conducting current element, then they will form into a loop. Now we are going to see what could be the force that is present between those two current loops. So let us consider this is the current loop 1 and this is the current loop 2. Now again we are going to find out the force that is exerted on the current loop 1 due to the current loop 2. To calculate the net force between the two loops, use the same integral derived for two line currents, but the line integrals are now closed contour integrals. So the force on loop 1 is d of df1 bar equals to mu naught I1 I2 over 4 pi dl1 bar cross dl2 bar cross A bar R21 over R21 square. Now to get the force, total force exerted on the loop 1, we have to double integrate the above expression, and now the integrals become the closed contours. That is only the difference. Now f1 bar equals to closed line integral L1 closed line integral L2 d of df1 bar. Now substituting the expression of d of df1 bar, here we get f1 bar equals to closed line integral L1 closed line integral L2 mu naught I1 I2 over 4 pi of dl1 bar cross dl2 bar cross A bar R21 over R21 square. Rearranging this expression, we get f1 bar equals to mu naught I1 I2 over 4 pi closed line integral L1 closed line integral L2 dl1 bar cross dl2 bar cross A bar R21 over R21 square. Now this is the expression which shows the force that is exerted on the loop 1 due to the loop 2. And we can also find the force on the loop 2 because of the loop 1. So in that case, the magnitude of the forces exerted on each loop due to the other loop will be same, that is f1 bar will be equal to f2 bar, but they differ in the direction. That means f2 bar will be equal to minus of f1 bar, and the remaining parameters in the equation remain same except the negative sign. Hope you like this video. Do like, comment, share and subscribe my channel for more technical content. Thanks for watching.